Welcome, welcome, Kate Mila Folche to the Horse Sport Ireland Autumn Development Series. COVID-19 lockdown last autumn compromised the series a little, and it's so valuable to get up and running with these young horses now with their professional and elite producers. And a great opportunity here for them to show at Marston Felicity Cousins' Barnadown facility. Yes, Barnadown, the home also of the Breeders' Classic and the Go for Gold event horse sale. As regards those COVID protocols, the three Olympic disciplines have been given parity with racing, no doubt helped by the fact that Ireland have qualified all three teams for the Tokyo Olympics. Absolutely brilliant. Thanks to Horseport Ireland and Eventing Ireland for the valuable support in this development series. One of the winners of which in last week's Wexford Equestrian event, Milleridge Atlantis and Ian Cassels won their first meter 10 there over the weekend at Blackstairs, showing again the value of these young horse classes. Fantastic. The Irish Sport Horse Stud Book has dominated the World Breeders' Federation rankings for so long now, but now face very strong competition. The best of foundations given to these youngsters can only help them become the championship horses we need. Thanks to Horseport Ireland and TRM, Therapies Remedies, who are also title sponsors for the Spring Tour this year and for this live stream. They're looking after the coverage of this live stream. The breeders of the winners there from Wexford and from today will also be rewarded by HSI. So important. The breeders, of course, are the backbone of the industry. Lovely to welcome here Sarah Ennis. Sarah, international and silver medal winning rider of the World Equestrian Games at Tryon 2018 with a brilliant rocket, stellar rebound. Yes, and also seventh in the Stregom Europeans. Rockety won both the four-star internationals at Ballindennis there last year to put him over the 1,000 points mark. That puts him in with the likes of Sportsman, Othello, Horseware Bushman and Portersize Just a Jiff. I think that just makes him the fourth horse to break that 1,000 points mark. What a horse, what a combination there with Sarah. Sarah, you had some very nice youngsters out over the weekend. How valuable do you reckon are these young horse classes? You're a multiple winner of the Stepping Stones of the RDS Young Event Horse Championships. It is valuable, isn't it? A great grounding for them, Sarah.
I find them amazing, Chris. They are a great starting point and the grounding for them. I would produce all of mine through these. Now, like, not all 4-year-olds are ready. I'll give them the time to grow up, but definitely all my 5-year-olds will be produced through the Stepping Stones and the Future Event Horse. And Rocket went through the Future Event Horse, won Dublin. So I think it does showcase the talent and the horses that do end up at the top, like the horses that do end up even just qualifying for the RDS, go on and have very good careers. So I think I wouldn't event them. I would usually show jump them. So it's brilliant to get a little bit of a mix. They get to do some dressage, get to do some show jumping and just some nice cross country. I think it's brilliant for them. It's invaluable.
No, well done, and well done, Horseport Ireland. Again, we lost a couple of these two, Wexford and Barnadown last year, and it's great to get a holding there this year. You mentioned Rocket at the RDS, and their stellar rebound. Rocket is stable name, winning there again, and appreciating the atmosphere and that experience, that atmosphere in the Dublin Horse Show. It must stand to them when they get to championship level again. They've been there before.
Yeah, no, I think it's a really good idea to put them in a main ring. Obviously, some 4-year-olds would struggle maybe a little bit more to cope with it, but certainly the 5-year-olds, it really stands to them because he'd be a sharp horse in himself now. He's a funny old character, but it definitely stood to him. He's been in a lot of main rings and he's learned, like he had that experience under his belt, and he just grew and grew from there. It was amazing. So no, I think it's a brilliant class and it's a great idea.
No, well done, well done. We got a great bunch of 7-year-olds here. We saw some smashing 7-year-olds there last day. The first one in there for today is number 1 Master Quality Imp, bred by Michael Courtney down in Kerry, owned by Susanna Cawley and ridden by Rebecca Coonan here. 7-year-old chestnut gelding by OBS Quality, of course, the sire of MGH Grafton Street, the Burley winner, BGS Class Affair. And out of a damn line, lovely grade B show-jumping mare, she was Lady Clover Imp by Master Imp, out of a Clover Hill, out of a mare by the Conqueror. Ran twice the training level last year, comes in here on a score of 40. And Sarah, what do you see? What do you see here? What's your first impression?
Oh, real nice animal. It's nice to see a bit of blood down his line as well with the Master Imp. Very Keen, like his ears are always pricked forward, really enjoying his job. Little bit green, but you never know. He might have started off in show jumping and changed careers. Certainly seems to be a good idea. He seems to really take to it. Yeah, he seems brave. Oh, I like
I
him.
love
He's
when their
nice.
names. I love when their names reflect their breeding. I love the genetics. Obviously, in Master Quality Imp, there's obviously OBUS Quality there. There's obviously Master Imp there. One of the great eventing thoroughbreds. Has huge influence on the Irish eventer.
Yeah, and she's giving him a real nice ride. She's just helping along, keeping the leg around him. Um, yeah, no, he's a lovely sort. But again, like just a little bit green. But this mightn't have been his first career choice or career path. So, yeah, he's a lovely model.
He likes his job. Sometimes he just loses a little bit of straightness. He's got to learn to keep that straightness, hasn't he, Sarah?
Yeah, that'll come with time and like obviously training exercises. But like just as a starting point, like he's very brave. Jumped that little skinny barrel really well. He's clever as a cat. He's got 5 legs, which you definitely need to go up the levels. And he looks like a real sort to go on with. That was really
They
nice.
say you, with the Irish bred, you get a fifth leg for free, don't you? In the being Irish bred, it's a great reputation to have. We see some slow motion footage there again. Great place to study technique, Sarah.
Yeah, he's real neat with the front end. The 2 front legs come up as a pair. He was a little crook at that turning, but that was different when you're taking a left turn to a fence. But his technique is good. I like him. He's a nice horse. I think
He's
he'll
putting that
probably
inside
go on to
hind.
good things.
He's putting that inside hind leg nicely under him as well. So you got plenty of power from the back
Yeah.
end.
No, he looks like a real sort to
And
go on with. So
excellent, excellent. Second horse in, number 2, DSL Happy Hour. Oh, I love DSL. Dollinstown stud bred this. Yes, Lars and Caroline Bjork, the breeders. Owned by Patrick Whelan and ridden by Alex Donoghue. 7-year-old gelding by the thoroughbred Road to Happiness, the son of the great Rainbow Quest. Out of a mare, Dollinstown mare, DSL Honeysuckle Rose by Cruise On out of a Cavalier Royale. Half brother to DSL Lucy, who was a good novice winner there a couple of years ago. This horse ran in the pre-novice there last year. Comes in on a score 33.5.
he's a real nice sort. A little bit on his forehand. I think that's what the rider is struggling with a little bit. But very keen, seems to really want to do his job. He's brave, his ears are pricked. A few jumps back, he took a right jump over the fence, so he had plenty of scope there. Again, just he looks quite green. But yeah, Caroline and Lars breed some lovely horses. They've lovely
Oh,
lovely brood mares.
I mean,
And I saw
Caroline rode right to the top, didn't she? She's a great rider herself.
Oh, she knows what to look for, right? But I saw a picture of Olive Clark jumping a horse, and it said something about Road to Happiness. So I automatically assumed it was a youngster, and I said, "What would you sell it, and what price was it?" And it was actually the sire himself. It was an amazing
That's
picture of him jumping. He's some technique.
fantastic. I did for thoroughbred, the sire thoroughbred. Yeah, he's a Rainbow Quest Road to Happiness, standing up with Phelim up in Galway, and he is. If you see a thoroughbred with that jump technique, great to see. He's going to get plenty of service. I think the thoroughbred stallion Road to Happiness, the sire of this fellow we're looking at. Ears up again, great sign coming home.
He gets better and better as he goes on. He as the round goes on, he learns to lock on. Again, he had kind of 5 legs. The barrel looks quite skinny going down towards the water, which is quite an ask. But very honest. Very honest.
Sarah, would you prefer when you get in tight? Would you prefer a horse go right in tight like that, or stand off and dive? I mean, I prefer a horse get in deep and the ability to come up real quick underneath you.
Yes, I like to know they can do that. So, like, obviously, cross country is not always pretty, and you're going to get jumps deep, standing off, everything. But I do like to know that their front end is quick enough and sharp enough to get in there and get out of the way. I would say it's really important. You don't want the horse always to be on a long one. So,
Good looking horse, this fella. Next in, number 3, Dennistown Dorado. Owned and ridden by Patrick Whelan. 7-year chestnut mare. Said to be by BGS Ocean View. There's an exciting sire again. He's traditional bred, the Ocean View sire of Paddy Burns. He's bike range bouncer out of a power blade, out of a cruising, out of a 40s field. And a half to BGS Star Attraction. Sire of Kilcandra Ocean Power, Michael Young's very exciting Go for Gold graduate, won that Protoni 3-star long last year by the same sire as this one, BGS Ocean View. He won an Anna Harvey novice on the Dressage Score 27 there last year.
Lovely mix of thoroughbred and draft on the sire side. That's the real old Irish breeding. It's lovely. Really, really nice sort. Again, just a little bit green, but definitely taking everything on. The ears are pricked. Seems to be enjoying his job. He seems to have a nice enough technique. Jockey's giving him a lovely ride. Yeah, no, he's a lovely model.
He's good off the ground as well, Sarah, isn't he? Sharp off the ground.
Yeah, real nice and real easy to ride around. Like, obviously there you're coming off the right rein and then turning left, so you're doing a bit of an S, and real sweet, easy to ride and turn. That was one of our issues with Rocket, turning. He was a little keen on like straight lines. So that's nice to see. It's a nice little question in there for them. And he lands on the correct lead. Oh, very biddable young horse. Lovely.
Nicely
lovely
produced by
there.
Patrick Whelan. I love the way he can just put his leg on. He gets an immediate response as well. He can lengthen the stride coming in or shorten the stride coming in as he likes. Quicken up again out of the water, saw his stride. Yeah.
He does a lovely job on them. A lovely job.
Yeah. And that's half the secret as well, getting into the hands of you or Patrick or some of these top producers, isn't it? I mean, it means so much to the young horse.
Yeah, we all do. I think Patrick, again, does all those young horse classes, and they're brilliant. They're invaluable for them. It's such a learning curve for them. Like the stepping stones, every week you're in the same arena and it builds confidence. Like I've driven down the road with some of them to the class and wondered whether I'd stay in the ring. And by the last one, they're winning. It's amazing. It just builds and builds. It's a brilliant idea.
It's great foundation. Number 4 coming in is General Trend, bred by James Nash in County Clare, owned by Rosalind Telford Kelly and ridden by Megan Telford Kelly. Yes, a 7-year-old bay gelding by Future Trend. Grade A show jumper himself, Future Trend, the sire of Barnadown Leia, good 3-star horse with a Polly Stockton. Dam side, yeah, Doran's lift, out of a Doran's telling hello, out of a chair lift, out of a leg on Prince. 6th in a novice at Hillcrest last year. And 3 novice starts actually last year and 3 double clears. Good sign of a horse there in his young years. Comes in on a score 34.
He's a lovely sort, this horse. Be kind of my type of model. He's the right colour anyway. All mine are bay. Yeah, Future Trend seems to... I've seen a few of them now and they seem really sweet, like lovely temperaments. Very level of the head. Very rideable, really good jumps. They're very impressive. I really like them.
He looks quite uphill in his way of going as well, sir, doesn't he? Quite uphill. The weathers are up in front of you. The front end is up in front of you nicely.
Yeah, he's got quite a lot of shoulder in front of her, which is really nice. And he's a good technique. Really sweet. No, there's a lot of horse in front of her. He's lovely. He's a lovely model.
The Kennedys are standing him there down in Rathkeel, and I know Peter Leonard and his family were very much involved with Future Trend, and he's done some lovely horses. We've had several through the Go for Gold sale, and they've done very well.
Yeah, they're a very attractive model, like a real nice stamp, and he's lovely. Not having any issues. Real nice over the barrel. No, the Future Trends are lovely models, and I just love they seem to have a very good brain, and very straightforward.
Megan sits lovely and light on her as well, doesn't she? She's a lovely light seat and horse, lovely forward going.
Yeah, she gave him a lovely ride. Didn't interfere. Just got him there. Just puts her leg on and he just jumps away. No, she does a super job on him.
I love the soft rein. Look at this, beautiful.
Yeah, real gentle hand. Never catches him. Horse is very happy. And he's a lovely, lovely frothy mouth. Like a lovely. He looks like he's a lovely soft mouth on him.
No,
Oh,
good.
really
These are
nice.
exciting bunch. Next in, number 5, Lates Carolier, bred by Tom Fitzgerald in Kilkenny, owned by Thomas Corish and ridden by Joanne Corish. By Ballymarine Studs Harlequin de Corral, sire of many, many eventers. Sorry, Rehi too, Gina Ruck's Rehi too. Out of a mare by Cavalier Royale, Rosconnell Cavalier by Cavalier Royale, out of a mare by the thoroughbred Evros. Evros is son of the champion miler, Chris. Ran well in a 2-star short of Barnadown last September, this fella. Lates Carolier, this mare. And comes in on a very good score here. Oh, a very good score. 30 plus 0. I think that could be a leading score coming in.
Yeah, this one's lovely. Very keen. You can tell, like before you said it, it had done as a 2-star short. It has a lot more mileage under its belt. Definitely knows its job. Very quick, very straight and direct. It's like the jockey knows the horse very well, giving her a real nice ride. No, that's very smart.
We're seeing a stronger pace straight away. He's happier and settles in a stronger pace. Is obviously more forward than the other 7-year-olds we've seen to date, perhaps.
Yeah, like more forward and definitely more keen. Like, it's like he or she knows his job very well. Yeah, very smart.
These mares, she's a mare. It's great to see these mares outperforming, and they can go up the ranks and at the end of their competitive career, hopefully provide the genetics to bring their real good performance into the next generation through breeding.
Yeah, it'd be great to keep some of these in the country, so when they're finished their career, we can breed from them. Unfortunately, I never got to keep any of the mares that I competed on to breed, which is a real pity. I know Sugar Brown Babe is breeding in England. She possibly has. I think she has a Duke of Hearts. But it must be about 3 now. So it'll be exciting to see that come on the scene.
Fantastic.
That's a real smart mare. Loves her job. And the rider did a super job.
Shot.
Real
It is.
nice.
And again, great producers here in Ireland. And I think that's the huge strength to the Irish sport horse as well, with the backup that they get from the producer, especially at this stage, again, formative years.
Yeah, I think it's all the classes we have. Like here, we're just so lucky with all the young horse classes and the grounding they get with hunter trials and the schooling. Like our facilities are, I think, really good.
This is Jungle Cat Orchid coming in number 6, bred by Michael Joseph Ryan in Tipperary. Owned and ridden by Ruth Robinson. Liver Chestnut mare, 7-year-old by Harlequin de Corral, again from Ballymarine Stud, out of Holly Dream. It's a traditional Irish mare here, out of an Erigal Flight, out of a Bronte, out of a Santa's Sleigh. 9th in the Ballindennis 2-star long last September. 8 points to date. Comes in on their score of 30.8.
The Harlequins are a little bit keener than the rest of them. This one's flying.
She looks like she's wintered well.
Her job. Yes. She's carrying a few COVID pangs. We allow for that.
Yeah, definitely.
But loves her job. Very quick. She's good footwork. Really neat. The jockey's just sitting in balance and the mare's taking her around. I would say she's probably better in like the likes of it, like a long cross country. I'd say she'd settle better without too much twisting and turning. But
yes.
There came back real nice, really obedient. But it's nice to see. She likes her job. She likes to go. It's nice to have them under you that you just point and steer and they do the rest.
Yeah. A real Harlequin as well. Liver chestnut with a lot of white about him. He throws a lot of that Harlequin.
Yeah, it's a typical Harlequin colour, all right. But she's super. Real sweet, lovely flying change. As soon as she turns, she locks onto the fence. Real nice technique. The old rider just sits in a lovely balance. Yeah, she's a super mare.
Whoa, got
no,
some
scope. Doesn't mind standing off. was super.
You can
Like she
see
settled
the
once.
you
Once she
can
got
see
out
the
the
horse
start
and
line,
rider
she settled
know
really well.
each other. They know each other very well, don't they? The horse and rider. They're well used to each other. I can see them reading each other nicely.
Yeah, really good combination. Really good. Yeah, I think the longer the cross country is for her, probably the better, and she'd settle real well. But she's super technique.
Beautifully named, Jungle Cat Orchid. On to the next one is number 7, Rothermick, bred by the Stallion Company, owned by Hans-Jürgen Kunle, and written by Caitlin Pretorius. 7-year-old bay gelding by Royaldic. Royaldic, of course, is a half-brother to the champion sire Heraldic, out of Lillian. They finished 7th in the Barnadown Intro, the 105 International there last year. They came in today on a score of 50.5.
It's a lovely model, this horse. Very attractive, very uphill. Actually quite balanced, nice flying change. Amanda's giving him a lovely ride, just sitting real soft hand.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Clean
Amanda,
through.
she is a super rider, isn't she? Super rider.
The two of them do, Amanda and Michael, do a super job producing a lot of young horses. I would have said this is not Amanda because typical type. I saw her at the weekend and produced one after the other of these beautiful little smaller horses, and equally as nice. This is a bit taller.
She was
But
a
the
top
two of
rider
them do
down
a
in.
super job.
Yeah, she was a lovely rider down in New Zealand before she came. She's a very accomplished rider. Ever before she came to Ireland, she was highly rated there in New Zealand. Amanda was before she came over this side. Great to have her here.
Yes, it definitely stands to her. I think she like those sub-20s quite regularly in the dressage.
That might
She's
worry the
hard to
likes of you
beat.
at times. Hard to beat. Great.
He's a lovely model. I love it. I love the size of his shoulder. He goes round in a real sweet way. Lovely flying change again. Nice balance. Good technique.
The lovely light connections, head to neck, neck to shoulder as well, isn't it? It's all perfect.
Yeah, no, he looks like he's a lovely mouth. Just lengthens his frame beautifully on the way to the fence. Not rude in any way. Very sweet. Real nice. Really nice.
No, good bunch of 7-year-olds. I think you can
Clever
read
with
a
the
lot
old
about a
footwork
horse
too.
on a bank. I love a bank. We're used to banks hunting across down here in the bank country of Limerick, but it's you can tell an awful lot on a bank, and it teaches them where to put their legs, and it teaches them to get light in front and engage behind.
But if you get them drawn with you, Chris, you end up in them.
Have you jumped the
I've
double
ended up in a
bank
few
down
myself.
in Mill Street? It's lovely, isn't it? We love it out hunting. Oh yeah. But they do it on the young event horses. They learn where to put their legs. I think it's fabulous. Get the hind end underneath them. Now, number 8 coming in. Cavaletti Clover. Bred by Gavin McGuigan up in County Tyrone. Owned again by Hans Kunle. Ridden by... Who have we got here? Amanda again coming out, is it? This 7-year-old
That was quick.
gelding by Murmasar. Murmasar, yeah. Sire Global Mentor, 4-star with Brian Morrison. DSL The Professor with Elizabeth Hayden. Out of Cavaletti by Euro Clover. Out of a Cavalier Royale. Out of a Standan. Standan the third, but he was a top sprinter, wasn't he? 30.8 plus 4. 34.8 their score coming in.
This is again a lovely model of a horse. Really like him. Seen a few of the Mermises. Never had the pleasure of having one, but they're a lovely type of horse. Oop. Maybe he
What
doesn't
were you
want to go
saying,
that
Sarah?
way. Horses always make
Lovely.
fools out of you, Chris. Always. It's the one thing I've learned.
Definitely.
Well, after
Some
the
good
different
shape over
opinion
a fence.
he's decided he wants to go on. He's a nice technique.
I couldn't find any starts for him under a vetting iron rules. So again, a horse that was either in another discipline or just left behind, as they often are, and coming to the scene late. And again, availing of great schooling here at Barnadown.
Yeah, this will teach him a lot this day. Just doesn't seem quite so easy in the contact. But then maybe will he turn? Oh, he turned this time. At least he learned. Oh, he's a nice horse. Maybe like he is a little bit green. Hasn't maybe seen so many cross country fences. It's hard to know, especially if you don't see any starts for him under the Event in Ireland rules. But brave enough.
Yeah, good through the water splash.
Yeah. Just the one little blip. But maybe he hasn't seen so much of it, to be fair to him.
And the 7-year-old, again, this is ideal again for him, isn't it, Sarah? Instead of having to face full competition, taking on his peers, going up the levels, that he can avail of this. These young horse classes, perfect for him at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a great education for them. It's real nice. They get a bit of everything, which is brilliant. It'll teach him a lot. And he got better as he went. Once he got past his little hiccup, he was very good. So they're not machines.
Absolutely. Next in, number 9. Sportsfield. Love to see Sportsfield prefix coming here. Sportsfield True Delight. Bred by John James Hurst up in Fermanagh. Owned by Paul Donovan. Ridden by his stable jockey, Corentin Gauthier. Lovely French rider came over to Sportsfield there a couple of years ago. This fell by Porsche. Oh, lovely. You'll love Porsche, won't you? Going back to the great thoroughbred Lady Killer Porsche, of course. Sire of Sarah Ennis's Sugar Brown Babe. Couldn't wait to say that, Sarah. And I mean, that was a top 5-star mare, wasn't she?
She was amazing. Like, she had what she didn't have in stamina or blood, she had in heart. And she was so good. She tried her little heart out. Because again, she wasn't a big mare. She was only about 16 hands. But it's funny, the
Yes.
Porsche really puts a stamp on them. Like, you'd nearly guess he was by Porsche. They're all kind of roughly that red bay colour. They all trot really well. They do jump. Baby unfortunately just lacked a little pint of blood. She was out of a rank of Englishman mare. Ideally, I'd love a Porsche out of a thoroughbred mare, just so you get a bit more stamina.
I think most of those continental styles, they want a thoroughbred. This was actually out of a traditional Irish bred mare by euphemism, thoroughbred euphemism. And then you've got a Sidrax coming in on the dam side again, another thoroughbred. So there's blood coming through, about 60% we reckon on the page.
That's a nice
Comes in here
and you can tell by him, he's quite go-y. And he's a lovely model.
He's got his changes as well.
Better. Yeah.
He's nice. We saw him last week at Wexford. You wouldn't have seen him, Sarah. And it's lovely to see him improving here again. He's improved his score by about 10 marks from last week to this week, which again shows the progression you can make through these Horseboat Island classes.
Yeah, it's great to see them learn and come on and do better every week as they get more outings. But the Porsches that I love about the Porsche, their temperament is unbelievable. Like, Baby, you could have sat a 2-year-old on her in the orchard, and there she galloped around Badminton. Their temperament is to die for. They're amazing. But you can tell he has a good bit of blood in him. He's quite go-y. Real nice model. Good jumper too.
Good Corentin. Puts a leg on, he gets a good reaction as well. They're well suited, these two, and we're going to see plenty more of him. That's no doubt in the coming season.
Yeah, it's exciting one for the future.
Last horse coming in is number 10, a classic Sportsfield, another Sportsfield horse here. Yep, bred by Siobhan McGuinness in County Mayo, owned and ridden by Sportsfield himself, Paul Donovan. 7-year-old bay gelding, again by Murmasar. We had another Murmasar earlier. Out of a mare by High Roller. High Roller, of course, by Cavalier. There's 2 High Rollers, one by Cavalier Royale, another thoroughbred. This is the Cavalier Royale High Roller on the dam side. Half brother to the 3-star eventer in Italy with Filippo Gregoroni. 18 points to date. Second, Grove. Grove was a great testing track. Third, Cricora last year. Come in here on a score of 31.
It's a big rangy horse, this. Ooh, big jump off the bank. Seems to be good at his job and knows what he's doing.
He's coming in on a mark 10
Scopey
points
too.
better than his mark in Wexford as well. So he's come on a nice bit in his flat work. As regards the dressage score coming in, and he had one rail down last week and clear this week, which is again progressive.
Yeah, it's really nice to see, and then sure it'll get them ready for their first event, which would be great. To have two of these under their belt really helps. Like I found after doing with 5-year-olds when they did the future event horse and they had never done an event when they went, so they do their first event then in September after Dublin. God, when they went to their first event, it was like they'd done it for weeks. They were amazing.
Yeah.
Because they'd had so much good schooling. Like when you went, they knew what
Yeah.
they were doing and off they went. It was unreal.
And I suppose the qualifying for those for that Dublin series as well, for the Young Event Horse series, there are different qualifying tracks, and they get to see 3 or 4 different terrains and different types of courses, and then they're ready for the RDS main ring, and then, as you say, they're ready for whatever comes their way. Great grounding.
Yeah, I like that. Like I love that stepping stones in the same place. You build a bit of confidence, and then the future event horses in different places every week, which really lets you know where they are. Like if they can cope with that, I find they always cope with Dublin. If they can go to 2 or
Yes.
3 of those venues and do well and get around and be happy, then Dublin isn't usually an issue. So it's a good way to judge them. So
Yeah.
and
A
they're
word on
real
Paul
good
here.
shots.
Paul Dunn, a mighty man, Sportsfield, think of Connacht, think of Sportsfield Othello, all those Sportsfield prefixes. He's put amazing horses through his hands, isn't he, Paul Donovan?
Oh, unreal. Like the amount and super horses. I don't know where he finds them.
Our results are coming in. Excellent. Yeah. In first spot in this Horse Sport Ireland 7-year-olds, first spot number 5, Lates Cavalier, Thomas Corrish's Lates Cavalier, written by Joanne Corrish on a 30. Number 2 in second, great. Number 10, Paul Donovan's a Classic Sportsfield on a 30.3. And in third, Jungle Cat Orchid, yes, owned and ridden by Ruth Robinson on a 30.8. Well, sir, thanks a million for your company there. A smashing bunch of 7-year-olds to look forward to during the season. And good luck with your season, Sarah. We're keeping an eye on all your horses, of course, and the very, very best to you.
Thank you very much, Chris. Great to talk to you.
Good on you. And we're going to be able to speak with Claire Abbott then after the break. We have a break coming up, and we'll welcome in Claire Abbott.
Be determined. Pippa Funnell was my all-time hero when I was younger. I must have watched her DVD and read her book 50 times. So I still see her galloping around and I'm in awe of her. She's amazing. I'm also a huge fan of Janelle Price. I just think cross-country, she's so class. She's just brilliant. I love the thrill getting back after a good cross-country round. I think it's such an adrenaline rush. I think as well, going out, you're always a bit nervous because there's so much that can go wrong and you have to have so much control, even though you're travelling at such speed over solid obstacles. So that's great, and I love the jumping aspect of it as well. I think it's just great. I think if a young person is looking to get into the sport of eventing, I think firstly, I'd say be determined. You have to work hard. It can be tough, and of course dressage is quite subjective, so you're relying on someone's opinion, which often can lead to disappointment if it's not the level you expect. You go in and jump a clear round show jumping, you've got a clear round. So I think it's about working really hard, and it takes time, but it's worth it when you get it. I'm Camilla Spears and I'm part of the Horse Sport Ireland Senior Eventing Squad, and I support the Women in Sport 2020 campaign.
Yes, welcome back. Welcome back to the Horseport Island Development Series 6-year-olds. Great pleasure here to introduce our co-commentators. Welcome to Claire Abbott. Claire, welcome here. Rio Olympian with the great Euro Prince. Placed 12th at Babbington, 13th at Burley. You've been a long time at the top of the sport and bringing horses all the way up through the ranks. Jules, another looking very competitive, going up to 4-star last year. But another very smart youngster winning on Athol and there Blackstairs over the weekend. Another by Valent. And Mr. Mighty, yes, a fabulous dam line. Same dam line as your great Euro Prince. Second yesterday in the novice. Winner of the Michael Leonard 5 and 6-year-old championships Ballindennis last year. Claire, what do you look for in your young horse that you reckon that can bring you up to the grades?
Hi, Chris. What I would look for would be a forward-thinking horse, probably a little bit more on the forward-thinking, feisty side rather than, more laid-back horse. A good jumper is a must. They have to be sharp in front. A really quality athletic horse will bring you right to the top, and with the training and the toughness of the sport, they need to be just naturally brave, tough, intelligent, and just, if you can suss out, do they have the heart and the mindset to go out there and jump around the biggest courses in the world. So there's a lot to try and find out when you're looking at a young horse, but just a willingness to get to the other side and just a good attitude and a great canter. I think that's very important. 2 out of the 3 phases are jumping phases, so a good canter really is super important there. So overall, just a sharp, quality, good jumping horse should take you right to the top.
Well, let's hope we see a good few of these 6-year-olds. They're the lovely stage 6-year-olds, aren't they? They've already taken their first steps, the most of them, and to see them just progressing a little bit, we've got a smashing bunch here. We saw a good few of them last week at Wexford Equestrian at Orla and Pat Pears in Wexford. Fabulous event we had there. And again, what's interesting, a lot of these that went there might have had a rail down there, have jumped clear today, have improved their dressage score. Some of them as much as 8 and 9 as well. Losing lovely progression.
So that's super. It's such a good pre-season, nearly a practice run for the events, getting the dressage and the show jumping mostly on a surface. And then the cross country here at these 2 events comes very quickly. It sharpens the horses and the riders. And then when they go to the first one-day event, it'll seem very easy when there's so much room between the jumps. So it's a great pre-season just get up and go and get the horses and riders ready for action.
Good. First horse in is number 30, Castletown Sunshine, bred by Amelia Comiskey in County Monaghan, owned and ridden by Alex Donoghue. Traditional Irish bred mare, the 6-year-old by Imperial Heights. Yes, the sire of Sammy Davis Jr. and Touch Too Much. And a good few others. Master Imp out of a Clover Hill on the top line. On the bottom line, Tenny by the Thoroughbred Silver Wonder, son of euphemism, out of a Caraborn View out of a Glenside. Own sister to Castle Blaney, a good 2-star horse in the USA. Major Black, another 2-star international here with Lucy McElroy. They come in on a score of 36.3. Clear Showjumping, 36.3, their dressage mark. What do you see there, Claire? How do you your first impression of this Castletown Sunshine?
He certainly has started very well. He hasn't missed a beat. He seems a very easygoing, very straightforward horse, and he's took everything in his stride. He certainly looks a lot older than his 6 years. So yeah, there he was quick in his feet. He is pricking his ears, and he's very balanced, turning there, and really hasn't done a whole lot wrong.
That's good. Alex on board as well, lovely rider. She was on 2 young rider teams, Alex, and for these young horses to get into the right hands like your own, Claire, so important.
Absolutely, and it's great to see some of the younger generation coming out through that have done the teams, and now they are producing young horses, and they're still staying within the sport, and they're obviously hoping to go on and keep going with their eventing careers. So it's really good to see that.
Good this year. Imperial Heights. Excellent.
Yeah, he's very forward going and absolutely no bother going around this course. She looks like she's having a great time.
Getting a lovely pat for her work
yeah,
there, the
mare.
mare.
Yeah, with that then.
Yeah. We get some slow motion footage here from Bit Media. Great. I love these slow motion shots for technique. Looking light on the bank. I love them to land light as well. I don't like them getting on top of a bank like a ton of bricks, and she's lovely and light on her feet. Sammy Davis Jr., also by Imperial Heights, he's shortlisted with Cahill for the Olympic squad, isn't he? And that, of course, is great mare Row and Rua.
Yeah, exactly. Cahill has a great string now, and all being well, they'll get going and get up and running and get a trip away.
This nice blood horse again, type BGK Valentine, bred by Michael O'Driscoll in County Cork. Traditional Irish bred by the thoroughbred Craig Steele. Craig Steele was the son of Suave Dancer, the Derby winner, and out of Glint of Gold, going back to Millreef. Love to see Millreef in the pedigree here. Stands now, they stand Darcy there, the O'Donovans down in West Cork. This horse went through the Go for Gold, Claire. And you know what? He's beautifully named. He's got a perfect heart on his forehead. A perfectly shaped heart. Hence the name BGK Valentine. That's lovely, isn't it?
Lovely. Yeah, he's very typical of a young horse. Has a bit of a spook and a jump and a skate off after the first fence, and then maybe chips in at one and has a little look at things. But that's totally normal, and it's good for people to see that they're not machines, and as they're developing, they don't always go round perfectly at this stage of their career. So she's giving him a great ride. She's keeping him in front of her leg. She's steadying him when she needs to, but at the end of the day, she's sitting behind him and saying, come on, we need to go. Everything here's in front of you to be jumped. So just get on with it. And they have to be quick on their feet. If they chip in, they have to be sharp in front. So, he's learning at every fence that's not perfect.
He came in today. He came in on a lovely score, 28.3. He won the HSI class last week. So this is lovely consistency in his marks here. He's come in level 3rd spot coming into his cross-country phase here. Lovely dark colour. I love a dark colour horse as well. It's I think it's a real strong colour in nature. Big brown horse. I love it. And Craig Steele, his sire, he's thrown a lot of winners on the track.
He's very quality, and he's built in a very good outline. He's balanced, and you would know he would do a very good test. He's got a nice round shape, and yeah, that was good. Little trot through the water, that's perfect. It gives him a bit of time to suss it out. So yeah, he's getting better and better as the round went on. So I think she'll be very happy with that too.
He's got a 73% thoroughbred calculated on his pedigree. 73%, which is nice to see. And I
Absolutely,
see him
that's what you
coming out.
need when you're on a long course. 10 minutes, 11 minutes. They have to jump a lot of fences and go with a good lick. So the more blood they have, the better.
I can see him coming out of a start box of it, top of it. This fellow, he'd be one to follow when he beat GK Valentine. Nicely done. Number 31. Excellent. On to number 33, Crafty Sportsfield. And bred by Vahid Bagassian, who has bred the great Tullabeg Flamenco down in County Waterford, Ballinamona. Owned by Paul Donovan, ridden by his lovely French stable jockey here, Quentin Gauthier. 6-year-old bay male by Harlequin de Corel. Sire Bullyborn Ace, Sire of Rehi 2. Out of a Ballinamona mare, Ballinamona Park Pippa by Crafty Clover. Yes, out of a Flagman King. Beautiful. Keep it on a good enough score. You had 34.5 and clear show jumping.
Yeah, he started out carefully, which is good. This is a big, rangy horse, and it looks like it needs a bit of time just to get its feet underneath him and to just judge what's in front. So I think that's a good plan by the jockey, just taking his time, keeping the balance and as much shape in the canter as he can, and just it's a great class that it's not necessarily judged on style and every fence. You can adjust things and do what you need to do. You've already got your dressage score and your show jumping's done, so a clear round is the name of the game, but you can also do a bit of schooling around this class too, so it's ideal.
Yes, Paul Donovan Sportsfield had a couple of cracking 7-year-olds in the previous class, and I always keep an eye on his youngsters. I mean, that Sportsfield prefix, fantastic prefix worldwide.
Absolutely. I mean, they're all over the world and very successful at every level. Medalists on every country's team. So, and he's keeping the name going, and now there's some great stable jockeys in here now. So,
Excellent.
Yeah, but this horse isn't doing much wrong at all. He's pricking his ears. He's getting better again as the round goes on. Yeah, it would impress you a lot now how he's just schooling it around and giving it plenty of time to judge what's in front of him coming up. And it's not easy when these horses are going around these courses where the jumps come so quickly, and you have to mind a whole lot of things like their balance and their straightness and sending them forward. And yeah, there's a lot to manage, so it's not as easy as it looks.
It'd be a bit like riding show jumping indoor in a big indoor, wouldn't it? And it is tight, the turns, and he's got to come to grips with that. But a great learning process, and a nice, exciting youngster, 6-year-old, Crafty Sportsfield, number 33. He seems happy to take on his fences, Claire.
Absolutely, that's what you want. Yeah, you want to encourage the horses to love the job and feel confident every time they go home from a competition. So, so far these horses are looking good.
Lovely clearance over the brush as well. You see some horses occasionally getting right up in the air. He was forwards and going. I love it. Yeah. Number 35, Nazalier, come in next. Bred by Sean Delaney in County Wexford. Owned by Jane Hancock and ridden by Lucy Hancock. 6-year-old bay gelding by Sligo Studs thoroughbred sire Nazar. Nazar's been a cracking sire. Yeah, sire of Joe Myers. Glass Crazy Love got great form. Caroline Martin's Pebbly Maximus. Salisfield Noble Special Agent. Benjamin Bounce, a great favourite of ours. Out of Royal Brook Ruby Royale by Cavalier Royale. Out of a Kildalton King. Out of a mare by the great thoroughbred Positively. And out of a Highland Flight. Coming in on their dressage score 33.8. Yeah, the clear show jumping. And their dressage score 33.8.
Yeah, this one's a little bit greener now. He's just making life a wee bit harder for Lucy at times. Just not as soft and as rideable as some of the others, but she's doing a good job. He's maybe very green and hasn't done a whole lot, but she's getting him to the fence, and he's learning as he goes. And yep, that's it. Just keep at it. She's doing a very good job.
And to keep you cool, isn't it? Isn't that what it is? And to let them try and find their balance.
Yeah, the jumps probably are feeling like they're coming up really quickly, and it's very hard just to meet them all perfectly. But yeah, she's doing a good job. He's a perfect size horse for her because she's not very big at all.
She's just saved a couple of seconds on the turn there. A neat tight turn back into the steeplechase.
Yeah, good girl.
I came to a
She's just
conclusion.
running on a wee bit much now on the forehand, but she's doing a good job balancing him down the hill or pulling extra hard. Yeah, he's running through the bridle a wee bit, but keep at it. She's getting there.
There's never a hill when you want one, is there? If they're pulling double, I want to find a hill.
Exactly. Yeah, good stuff. Like their arms are a little bit longer after that, but she got the job done and got a little bit more mileage into him. And I think he'd be a lot easier out in an open field in the cross country at a normal event. Just be a wee bit easier. It's not easy twisting and turning around there when they're green and keen. So
then he sees a fence and he quickens again. Every fence he puts another 2-3 miles an hour on it.
That's it. Yeah, it could be worse. It could be slowing down.
Oh gosh, yes. That's great. Next in, we have number 36. Oh, Kilossery Kitten, another with a great prefix here. Kilossery Kitten, traditional Irish-bred mare, this 6-year-old mare, bred by Frank and Laura Glynn up in Kilossery and ridden by Nicola Ennis. By the Brazilian thoroughbred, Mr. Big Cat. Now, he's an interesting horse. He was a 2-star international eventer with Clayton Fredericks himself, the sire, Brazilian Mr. Big Cat, and the dam line, one of the top Kilossery mares. Kilossery Cruzette. She herself a grade A show jumping mare with 440 points, $1.40 she cruised at. By cruising out of a Radical, out of a Chuchin Chow, out of a Bahia. Radical, Chuchin Chow, Bahia, all thoroughbred. Makes him a half-sister to 5 internationals. Kilossery Crescendo, Kilossery Confusion, Kilossery Caden, Kilossery Quidam, Kilossery Karamaka, I think. Placed twice the pre-novice last year. 30.5 their score, right up in contention here.
Yeah, this horse looks like the real deal now, doesn't it? Even on paper before you see him. But Nicola's doing a fantastic job. But you can see just his attitude, his jump, his balance, he changes beautifully. I mean, he looks like he would just jump whatever's in front of him. Although he's not without an odd spook and a juke, and I like that quickness and, you know, his fast feet, and he looks like if she lets him off the bridle a bit, he'll just take off. So there's plenty of quality there.
Yeah, looking for horses that can go up the grades, and I think this excites me as well, doesn't he? You can see him going all the way up there.
She's having to tone it down a bit because he's finding this really easy and too straightforward. But yeah, just he learned just jumping all these in quick succession, and it's all mileage. He was quick thinking there on his feet. Yeah, they just have to learn to find the fifth leg, and they get a little bit deep, or they don't have the perfect jump. An event horse needs to be robust and just keep going and, you know, shake off any jumps that aren't perfect.
Yeah. And the ability to get in deep when you have to, you know, and to know it's in the locker.
Yeah, us eventers don't always get it perfect. So we get an odd
I think you do, Claire.
A big one. And
not sure I've never seen you wrong, funny enough, Claire.
What?
I love it. He's found his hind end, this horse. I love the power he's got off of his back end, you know, and he gives it generously. He was clear show jumping. I can see how.
She looks lovely.
Oh, good. Number 38 should be next in. Yes, Alex Donoghue. And another traditional. I love my traditional breds. I'm that way inclined. But Penny Delight, my traditional bred by the thoroughbred Superior Premium, bred by Brian Maguire. Brian, of course, who bred Be My Hero, the Rolex winner. Superior Premium, the sire of a Power Supreme, shaping up very nicely for Nikolai Aldinger in Germany, son of the sire here. And Out of Expectation by Kuva's Diamond Boy, great broodmare sire. Out of a mare by the thoroughbred Penistone, out of a mare by the thoroughbred Bahrain. Half brother to Bangaula Diamond Time, 2-star horse in Italy, and Cooley Caviar, a 3-star horse in the USA, coming in on their mark of 37.5. Yeah, one rail down, 33.5 and 4, 37.5.
Yeah, I suppose he looks a little bit greener than some of the rest now, and probably not as well balanced in the canter, but again, that'll all come, and with good training and all these outings, these things will all start to come together. So she's doing a good job. There's plenty of horse there to manage. She's giving him a nice
BTK, I
quiet.
see.
Right.
Just sometimes shortens up and coming in. It just
Yeah. Not ideal. Sometimes when he's a bit fighting in the bridle, it's just not easy to soften your hands and ride forward to the fence. There's a little bit of arguing going on, but again, that rideability is something that could be worked on, and that was much nicer over that one. Yeah, getting braver as the round goes on too. So, yeah, we're going there.
great breeder, of course, Brian Maguire. Do you remember Bay My Hero winning Rolex? I mean, he was somewhat. He won the 1-star, 2-star, and 3-star in Tattersalls as well, didn't he? Fantastic. But
he was a gorgeous horse.
Yeah. Oh, Brian knows his horses, and hopefully this Penny Delight will go all the way for him. He does pick up the bridle coming into his fences, doesn't he?
And then maybe too much, and then when he gets there, he's like, oh, maybe I can't do it on my own. I'll just have a little rein check. And then she says, go on, no, it's fine. So that'll all come together.
It'll work out. Yep. Number 39 coming next, Carrickshon Doctorow. Bred by Jack Warner down here in Wexford. Owned by Kitty Shanahan and written by Kiri Moran. Great pilot Kiri again. 6-year-old bay filly by Don Doctorow, a son of In Doctorow. Don Doctorow, the sire, jumped 1.45 m with Ger O'Neill and Jason Higgins. Bred typically Fernhill, good 3-star horse with Leslie Law currently in the USA. Dam Side, yes, Carrickshon Polly by Castle Forbes Bolivar out of a Clover Brigade, out of a Caesar Imperator. Caesar Imperator, of course, a thoroughbred. One started pre-novice last year and comes in today on a 33.3. The dressage score puts them in 8th coming in.
Yeah, the scores seem all pretty tightly packed. This was at this stage of the game. The horses are only getting out to their first few shows. Maybe they've been to some training shows, but their first second competitive dressage outing with a young horse, sometimes, it can be a wee bit sort of green and just getting them back going again. But yeah, this round's going very well. He's a very nice rider, just giving her time to assess everything and moving her forward, and she needs to go on, and then also just rounding her and softening her, keeping her balanced.
Top rider Kiri Moran loves his hunting down there in County Wexford as well, and he's got some cracking horses on the go.
Yeah, she's quite a strong type, but she's jumping well and galloping well. There's not too much wrong there with what they're both doing. Yep, she's very brave and actually giving him a great ride, making life easy for him. She was just picking up the jumps there, feet perfectly.
Yeah, you get some fillies that are very long in the back. Mares can be very long in the back. She doesn't seem long in the back. She's got a very good back end on her and great power off the back end.
Yes, great top
right
line
underneath
and
her.
Great condition, and yeah, as you say, she's very strong and compact.
Love these slow motion shots that you can get and see the technique. It's great to see. Lovely attitude.
And it's really good that, so many nice horses here, and, you can watch the video back and see how the horses are progressing. It's a great series, and even better, it's live streamed.
Oh, fantastic. Well done, HSI and TRM. Yeah, number 40 coming in. Exciting one here. Countess Cooley. Yes, a Cooley horse coming in here. Bred by Mrs. Cooley, Georgina Phillips. Lovely. Down here is breeder here for Countess Cooley. Well done, Georgina. Owned by Cooley Farm. Written by Bethany Burton here. This 6-year-old bay mare by Ramira B. Sire of Cooley Masterclass, Cooley SRS, Ballinocastle RM, and a host of top horses. Ramira B, the sire. Out of Regular Eaton, a mare for Georgina Phillips. Makes her a full sister to Cooley Earl that went around Badminton with Georgie Strang. And so this horse, Countess Cooley, a mare, own sister to a 5-star horse. Ran pre-novice at Frankfurt last year. Comes in today on a score of 32.
Bethany has a lot of confidence in this horse. It's very polished and looks very experienced for only 6. So, I mean, she's just showing off now. It's so good. She's so forward to the first few fences. It just shows how brave the horse is, how well trained he is, how confident she is in ability. So.
But if you look at Cooley, if you look at Ramira B and the Ollie Townend, it is some partnership, isn't it? I mean, it's a production line of championship stars.
It's fantastic, yeah. And to keep going back and producing top results in Kentucky. He knows the competition suits the horse very well, and yeah, it's magic.
Cooley Masterclass, yes, brilliant. But this is an exciting youngster, isn't he? She's gorgeous mare, beautifully bred. She's the full package, isn't she?
Just so balanced and quick thinking, and taking everything on. Like, she looks like she could just go straight to a 2-star now.
I'm sure she'll be heading there in time for sure. Big open galloping stride, isn't it? Lovely.
She'll be looking forward to riding this one now at the one-day events.
She and Katie O'Sullivan, I wonder how they draw horses. I mean, every one of them as good as each other. Aren't they just a great powerhouse academy they are? Well done, Cooley. And they came in on a score of 32. They're competitive as always. Next in, we welcome in number 41, R&H Parisian Blue, bred by Norman Hammond up in County Tyrone, owned and ridden by Nicola Fitzgibbon. The 6-year-old bay mare by Paris Blue Merrill's Nest, son of Plot Blue, out of a Voltaire dam. And the dam, R&H Eliza, was by Eustonoff, out of a junior, out of a Belisar. It was a good KWPN dam line. 30 their score, again, right up in contention after the flat work and clear show jumping. Puts them in about 4th.
I thought Nicola started very bravely there, and it was all going quite nicely. And then I think maybe it was more the horse wanting to go quite fast, but things have calmed down a wee bit. But so far, she's riding really forward. Looks keen, quite strong. They're all different. Some of them they pull a bit, and some are a bit light and they need encourage. So it's all just part of the training and mileage, and it all comes together with a few items. Just finding out how they react in a competition environment. And sometimes when you go that bit quicker, you find out that the buttons aren't maybe just as good as you thought they were. So these events are ideal for just moving them on or bringing them back and training them to be a little bit steadier. So very nice there.
Yeah. Because the event horse, he's got to learn to switch on and switch off, hasn't he? And if they don't learn to switch off, they're kind of holding their breath a bit at times, I think.
Yeah, they sure do. There's long galloping stretches at the long format events, and they just need to learn to just drop their head and gallop, easily within themselves. So sometimes when they're full of the bridle, they burn themselves out and they don't have enough petrol left at the end. But, with Euro Prince, he was a bit like that, and we thought he might settle more and more as he got up the levels, but he just kept going like that for 10, 12 minutes. So they're all unique.
We've just had the tremendous National Hunt Festival at Cheltenham, and again, all the winners, they come in, the horses that found an early rhythm, found a rhythm throughout their race, so it gives them the efficiency of their breathing apparatus, doesn't it? To find a rhythm, and it makes everything efficient.
Absolutely. It's not always the fastest horse makes the time event, and sometimes they're a little bit more difficult to turn, and a good jumper sometimes gives the fences too much air. So you need a horse that's a good jumper but economical and easy to turn, and just stays in a rhythm the whole way around. And I think the like Michael Young and those European riders that have won lots of medals give a masterclass in that aspect.
They are amazing to watch. We're welcoming in. This is Joyce L. Yeah, number 45. Bred by Joanne Lubin, owned by Hans-Jürgen Kunle, ridden by Michael McNally. 6-year-old brown mare by Christian by Catani, by Cathargo. It's real, that capital top line. And again, Cathargo coming in on the dam line through the dam Joy L. Oh, 28.3. Michael McNally, always competitive. A super flat work score today, 28.3. And clear show jumping puts him right up there.
Yeah, that's a very good score for Michael. He certainly knows how to produce the young horses, and this horse now looks the most like an event horse. Really, he's fit looking, but very, very quality.
Yeah. The sire jumped
And
to meter
sometimes
60.
Yeah. Sorry.
Michael rides a clipped out top 4-star horse, a clipped out. Look forward to him this season. Lovely attitude, I'd say, Claire, isn't it?
Longer, rangier horses. Yeah, he's lovely, and they take a little bit more time to develop a jump. So this guy's built a bit more like a national hunt horse, and he's jumping a little bit flatter. But that's not to say he won't make a top event horse with Michael in charge of his training. Just he'll come with time. So
interestingly, he had one rail down last week and a lovely clear round there today for his show jumping, which means that he's putting his act together.
Good job.
He's a horse you can see going up some grades as well, can't you? On a big open galloping track, a championship track, perhaps.
Absolutely, that's what you want.
He's very competitive here. Clear cross country, yes, and 28.3. That puts him in second spot at least, I think. Nice uphill front end as well, isn't it? It must be a lovely, comfortable horse to sit.
Yeah, you want him to gallop along and look out through the bridle, and not be galloping into the ground. So absolutely, you want to see the ears pricked and lots of horses out in front, looking for the next
48
fence.
coming in. 48, good. Boris King's Quality coming in to join us. Yeah, bred by Joseph Skelton in County Carlow, owned and ridden by Emma Hosey. The 6-year-old bay filly by Slag of Studs, King's Master. Yes, son of the great master, of course, King's Master. Sire of Master Treadstep, tremendous horse of Aidan Kyo's. And MGH King Street, Paul and King's River, Merriwell Tradition, etc., etc. Boris Quality, the dam by Obios Quality, out of Weatherby's non-Thurbid sire. Most of those Weatherby's non-Thurbid are Thurbid, actually. Slag of Joker. And the dam has 5 registered progeny there and placed a pre-novice last year. And on a leading score, 28 coming in. 28 leading score, dressage score, clear show jumping.
Yeah, this horse has started very easily. He's just very round and balanced, and he's a great canter and finds the changes easy. It just looks like really good fun to ride.
And do you have to work to get that balance? Some horses would be naturally better balanced just by way of build and conditioning, would it be, Claire?
Absolutely. Some horses are naturally born on the bit, and others just take a lot of strength and conditioning. The more longer rangier horses take more time to build the strength and the top line and the balance. And yeah, they're all unique, but we can work on all the strengths and weaknesses and hopefully produce a top horse if they have a good attitude and the jumps there and the trainability. You just never know what you could bring on.
Do they say you can improve a trot, but they're born with a canter? Something like that, is it, Claire?
Yeah, I think so. You sure can. Yeah, trot's very easy to improve. If the canter is there, again, like there are so many marks for the canter as you go up the levels, especially in the dressage. At 4-star, 5-star level. You have 2 scores for the walk, but the canter, the amount you do, the half past, the flying changes. If the quality canter is there, then it's easy to train all the lateral movements and progress from there.
Well, this filly looks gorgeous behind it as well. She's got tremendous balance, as you say. I don't think she's ever missed a beat.
No, that was a really nice round. She should be very happy with that. She's pricked her ears,
She's
jumped
right.
everything that's in front of her. And she's keen. That's, one of the things you want at this stage. When they're 6, you want them absolutely like dying to get to the other side.
Well, we're looking at a horse that's going to be right up there. Yep, that's Boris King's Quality. We welcome him in here, number 57, Mr. OBUS Hullabaloo, last of our 6-year-olds, by OBUS Quality. OBS Quality decided Burley with Grafton Street, Fernhill Quality Street, Look On Quality, OBS O'Reilly, etc., etc. The dam side, it's a Kennedy horse, KEC, Leopali, Aldata Z out of a Clover Hill, out of a Marigold. The top breeders, of course, the Kennedy Sanda, such great stallions. Half brother to Kilfenora Maximum Joe, one of their stallions, again represented by the half brother, and Leopali by Lancelot. They're good show jumping horses. Here today, written by Blathnade Boyd. Bred by Anna Kennedy. Yes, bred by Kennedy's down in Kerry. Ran in 2 breeding offices last year. 30.5 their score. Good score. Clear show jumping.
Yeah, another horse that started just really well. These horses have been very well produced in this class for only being 6. They're brave and they're taking everything on, and this one especially now is taking a pull and is keen, but doing everything he's meant to do when he gets there.
He gets well off the ground, Claire, doesn't he?
Sure does. Yeah, he's a very good jumper.
You mentioned earlier, which is interesting.
Pull and he's keen. Yeah, no, he's coming back to her very nicely there when she sets him back and asks for a wee bit of balance. He's being quite obliging. So when he sees the fence, he's keen, but then when he lands, he's coming back into himself and the rideability is coming back again. So no, this looks very good jumper.
That's hugely important, Claire, isn't it? Because I see it on the cross-country track many a time. If they're pulling too strong, riders having to set their horse up from way, way back and losing precious seconds of time.
That's it. If you have a nice, easy-going horse that just stays in a rhythm, jumps the fences really nicely and smoothly, yeah, it absolutely does save seconds. So that was another good round. Excellent. Yeah, they've been a very impressive bunch. They've all looked very confident, and at this stage of their 6-year-old year, that's what you want. They would be starting out maybe at a 100 and then progressing up to novice and hopefully an international maybe in the summer. So this bunch certainly look like they're well on their way to doing all those things.
Yeah, they're an exciting bunch. We look forward to their progress through the season. I get the privilege of calling them most weekends, Claire, and yourself, and it's a great position. And I always say that the best jockeys are all in the grandstand and the best hurlers up in the ditch, and I'm one of those. Look at this for jump, though. Oh, I love it.
Very good. Yeah. Very exciting.
With a horse with that balance, it's almost like you can't be wrong coming into a fence. It doesn't really matter where you are in front of a fence when you got that balance coming in. I think that's our lot for the 6-year-olds. Yes, the results coming up. Boris King's Quality. Yes, well done, Emma Hosey. Owned and ridden by Emma. Boris King's Quality winning on their score of 28, just 0.3 behind him. Christine O'Donnell with last week's winner, BGK Valentine, the Craig Steele. Isn't that lovely? Yeah, very well placed here. And joint second and third there, 28.3, Michael McNally on Joyce L. Claire, just before you go, what news on Europe Prince? He's been so special to Ireland, to you, to me. We just loved him in his career. He's retired. How's he enjoying his retirement?
He is in his element. He is absolutely loving life out in the field. His favourite place, either there or at a competition. He's a once in a lifetime horse. He's an absolute superstar. We've travelled all around the world. We've done every 5-star going. We've done a Europeans, a Worlds, an Olympics, and he made all our dreams come true. So he's happily retired. He absolutely does not miss going out in the lorry one bit. So he doesn't even lift his head from the grass. So he's great, and I'm so pleased that he's retired and he's just chilling out now. And I suppose he probably knew it was a good time to retire, because if he was getting ready for badminton last year or this year, he wouldn't have had a run. So he's great.
Claire,
I owe him a lot.
We owe you in Ireland, owes you heaps, fair dues to you, and we look forward to you bringing on the next superstar like him. And I just see pictures of him on the screen, and well done, Claire. Listen, mighty memories of him. But going forward with your youngsters as well, look forward to calling you a nice winner there over the weekend again. Keep it going, Claire. We look forward to catching up with you later on during the season. We're going to take a break there now.
Thanks for having me.
Good on you, Claire. And after the break, yes, Sam Watson going to join us after the break. Sam Watson, we look forward to that after the break coming up shortly.
It starts with ambition, belief, and determination.
The European champion 2019, Kate Derwin from Ireland.
Setbacks and doubt may threaten our resolve, but winners never quit, and quitters never win.
Wearing the green jacket is one thing. Doing the green jacket justice is everything.
This year, we didn't just break records, we made history. But we believe the best is yet to come.
In 2020, 3 teams will travel to Tokyo to take on the best in the world, where we will have our sights firmly set on gold.
Yes, welcome back. A very warm welcome to the Hotspot Island Autumn Development Series 5-year-olds. And just a lovely position to bring us in now. Sam Watson coming to join us. Sam, we just seen you on the podium at Tryon in the ad break. Absolute brilliant memories coming back. Sam Watson, founder and director Echo Ratings, member of that Tryon World Equestrian silver medal winning team on the Great Arda highlight. Fantastic to see you there. Won the Campfire Nations Cup with Imperial Sky. Sam, how many 4 stars, now rated 5 stars, did you do with Horseware Bushman?
I can just about get them on my fingers, I think, Chris. We did 4 badmintons at Burley, 2 World Equestrian Games. So that's 7 completed. He did 3 European Championships as well. So he was a good man for the top level. He enjoyed it.
Oh, did he? What? And you know what? He was one of the first Irish horses to break the 1,000 mark barrier, you know. And not only did he break it, he went up to 1,400 and something points, didn't he? And it's a very elite, stellar rebound rocket. He just joined you there last year, winning the 2 4 stars last year. And there's one, Portishead's Just a Jiff. And I think those are the only 3. Can you remember any more over the 1,000-point mark, Sam?
Oh, I think Othello went past Bushman, so Sportsfield Othello. So Bushman was the first to get to 1,000. It's a nice one, you know. The Rocket was an unbelievable horse and is an unbelievable horse and unbeatable. But I like those 1,000-point clubs because a few of the warriors, a few of the old reliable team horses that pull consistent performances out of the bag time after time, you know, they get rewarded really on that leaderboard.
It's a very elite squad. Yeah, it's like a Mile High Club or something, isn't it, Sam? Yeah, Tullabeg Flamenco, another exciting one you have. Sam, you make your own horses. What do you reckon the 3 most valuable qualities you look for in your youngster? A youngster that can go up the grades to bring you where you want to be, up to that top level?
Well, I'd say I'm quite like a lot of people the first thing I really look for is a balanced and active canter. And I think, a lot of people would be in that club. We spend a lot of our time jumping, galloping, even in the dressage, you know, most of the movements are in canter. So you're looking for that activity, that power, that athleticism, but the balance is a big one for me. Then I'd say I go a little bit off-piste from other people maybe. I love the footwork to be quick and active over a jump. So I love looking at them loose, even if I'm looking at a 7 or 8-year-old. If I can, I'd love to see them loose because I like to see them work things out themselves, and the speed of that footwork and a bit of technique there as well, obviously. But that's important. I know a lot of people love to see that air time over a jump when they're younger. That costs a lot of money sometimes. For me, as long as they're quick and clever, I love that footwork. And then I guess I'm really looking for an athlete, an overall streamlined, a horse that looks like he's going to gallop. That's what's got to be in there. It's got to look like galloping is easy. Galloping is something he's been born to do, or she. Importantly, the mares are very important. So that's what I'm looking for in a horse, because there's a lot of work to be done in this sport. There's a lot of training to be done, and a lot of competing to be done.
Our first horse coming in, Sam, and it is a mare as well to boot. She really impressed us last week. This Tullibard's Vita 71. We saw her in Wexford last week. Bred and owned by Hans-Jürgen Kunle up in County Laois. Ridden by Amanda Goldsberry. By the Nations Cup winning Tullibard's Benny's Legacy smashing sire here. By Lupacor, out of a Voltaire himself. And the dam is Animor Mystique. Was a grade D pony show jumper. Excellent. Coming in on a score, a very competitive score, 27.8 and clear. So competitive from the get-go. This very smart Tullibard's Evita.
Well, there's an easy active canter for you, Chris. That's lovely and balanced. Even when she's on the wrong leg going around a turn, she's still doing it with balance. And the second fence there, we saw her being really quick and nimble to put in an extra stride. So that's great. And I love the ride that the horse is getting as well. No better woman in the plate than Amanda, but she sits so soft. I mean, there again, horse running in a little bit deep, she stayed really soft and balanced and let the horse figure it out. Beautiful thing for a 5-year-old to be doing.
Hey, she's quick on her feet, very light. She lands light as well, doesn't she, Sam?
Yeah, the horse lands light and the rider rides light. I mean, I'm looking at both here. I love to see the rider doing a good job. We should be. I think a lot of riders going in there, sometimes they want to win and they want to jump a clear round. It's the horse that's got to do it, and we've got to let the horse do it. And Amanda really just just try and let the horse work it out. That, again, classic example. If you try and dominate the stride there, you're going to make life hard for the horse. The stride wasn't there, the horse figured it out. They're clever when they're loose, and if we ride them nicely, they're clever when we're on their back as well.
Excellent.
Plenty of scope.
So they're not looking. They don't rely completely then on your assistants coming in. If they are wrong, they can figure it out.
Yeah, they wouldn't want to rely on my assistance, Chris. That would be dangerous territory.
Well, your results speak for themselves, Sam Watson. That's for sure. Amanda, lovely rider as well. Lovely soft hands.
Yeah, lovely athlete of a horse there, really, for sure.
She was very well placed coming in here, 27.8 and nothing to add in the cross country. Going to stay competitive as always. Amanda Goldsworthy on this very smart mare. Talibard's Vita, beautifully named.
To be fair to Amanda, I mean, every time I see her on a horse, she does such a nice job. In the first phase, there's no better person. Really, really nice rider to produce a test. But I think she's done a fantastic job there in the jumping phase as well. Rides with a lovely balance. The horses love her. And she's nice and soft on a horse.
Oh, good going. Yes. Number 74 coming to join us, Avoca McCool, bred by Christine Banks. Oh, great breeder, owner-breeder Christine Banks. I love these homebreds. Owned and ridden by Luke Dre. And, of course, Luke Dre rode the dam here. This 5-year-old by gelding by Slag of Studs Golden Master, thoroughbred sire. Master in pre-fairy mare. His golden master, but the dam Avoca Fela brought Luke all the way up to a 4-star. Finished 9th in the Ballandenisk 3-star long, which is now the 4-star. Won a Kililky advanced class there on Avoca Fela. Do you remember the grey mare? She was a brilliant mare.
Yeah, she was very good, and it's nice to have that. It's nice to know that there's proven ability there on both sides. And this is a horse that when you look at him first, these young horses, it's hard to judge them. They're going to look very different in 5 years' time than they do now. And it's good to know that it's all there, in the gene pool, because then you know that there's something that should furnish up and should furnish into a more, they get tighter with work and they get fitter and they strip a little bit lighter and things like that in time. So it's good to know that the blood is there in the breeding.
It's like in the racing, isn't it? In the racing industry, there's black print families. And this is a high-performance dam line here by a lovely thoroughbred sire of Slag of Studs Golden Master.
It's good. You're looking for the attitude as well. Does this horse want to do the job, taking it all in? They're gonna make mistakes when they're young, and they're gonna be a little bit green when they're young. But it's the fact that they prick their ears and sort of even grow in confidence as they go around as well. That's important. Get to a track like Burley, they're going to see things that they've never seen before, and you want to know that their attitude is to say, "Okay, I'll take it in and I'll keep going, looking for the next fence."
Got to be huge, that attitude, yes. And the Irish sport horse has that attitude. I mean, he's owned those world rankings for many, many years, hasn't he? And he's earned them genetically, athletically.
I think those horses that we've produced, we've spent hundreds of years, asked them to do everything from kind of going out hunting with the kids to ploughing the fields to taking the family to, off on a journey somewhere. They do so much work. And they kind of answer any questions for us. And that attitude has stayed with them, I think, as we bred them. Perfect for eventing where we need that all-rounder and that tough horse as well.
That's for sure. Another nice horse coming in, 75, Monbeg Ansley, bred by Nicholas Cousins, brother of Morris, who owns here Barnadown. Great. So owned and ridden by Louise Codd down here in Wexford. By the late Des Nocta's lovely thoroughbred horse, Emperor Augustus, the sire, thoroughbred sire. Kentucky Derby with a Fusashi Pegasus is Emperor Augustus, sire. Lovely thoroughbred line. On the dam line, Tullibeg B by Ramiro B. And half to Tullibeg Twilight by Dignified. Good novice winner there last year. Comes in again competitive here, 26.3 and clear. She's a lovely producer of these horses, Louise, isn't she, Sam? I love to watch her ride, and the youngsters, just a bit like Amanda before, they just go so soft for her.
That's exactly it. I mean, she rides him that way, and very effective. That you can see the horse wanting to go out a little bit through the right shoulder there, and she managed to be strong and sort of guide the horse in the right direction without dominating or getting in the way or doing anything like that. So that the leg was there and she was strong. So she's effective. Don't think that she's doing nothing, but she's doing it in a way that is allowing the horse to still carry on and do his job. Super producer. It's a real skill and an art as well.
How lucky for these young horses to be in these hands, I reckon.
Exactly, and you're very lucky to ride a horse after a lot of these riders as well. They've done everything right, and it's just a case of carrying on what they've been taught so far. Really nice how she just allowed the horse to find his change of lead there on the time. Not rushing it, not hooking and holding him from left to right. Horse just finds his balance in his own time.
He's a fine big horse, I'd say, isn't he? He's got size to him. He's got a lot going for him.
Yeah, and he's got that. When we talk about the canter as well, you're looking for that moment where all four legs are off the ground, that little bit of jump in the canter, and he's got that. He's got that nice bit of jump in his canter there. You'll see in the slow-mo that moment of suspension where all four legs are off the ground. He's not scuttling away. Comes down to that ears pricked. Lovely.
He seems very secure in his jump as well, Sam, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's confident in his work. He's paying attention to what he's doing, but he's enjoying his job.
I love the way he lands in front and then the hind one straight up very quickly underneath him and to take him away from the fence. Coming in 77, Tullibard's Benny's Special. Bred by Kedra House Stud, that's Tom Maher's there in County Tip. Owned by Hans Cunley. Ridden by Michael McNally. By, Tullibard's Benny's Legacy. Great meter 60 winner he was too for the Cunleys. For Benny Cunley, fantastic. Lupicor out of a Voltaire mare. The dam, Scarlet Cavalier by the great Cavalier Royale out of a Red Butler dam. Coming in here again, nice and competitive again, 29.3 and clear. Under 30 is always competitive. It's nice to be under a 30 mark, isn't it, Sam?
Oh, it is. It is.
You're always under 30, Sam, of course you are. It's getting into the 19s now. It's getting crazy stuff, isn't it?
It's getting into the teens, yeah. Mickey Young breaking records and things like that. I think that the world record holder is now competing on Irish soil in chocolate. He finished on what would be about a 12 these days with Mickey Young back in Stragom. I think you were there in person to see it.
I was there and I was trying to find was it a world record and I was pretty sure it must be. And fantastic. But, the jumping phase is all important. And this horse, a little bit loose at the first of these two benches, but good then, yeah.
Yeah, and they make their own mind up as well. I think it's, we can't be too kind of strict and, that I like to let them make mistakes, particularly when the fences are this high. It gets a little scarier later on in their lives when the fences get bigger. And to just come in and let them see what they're going to do. And they might guess and jump a little bit from too far away. But then the horse learns himself the next time the penny drops and they think, okay, I might fiddle one next time, and you let them figure it out. It's important in anything that you're doing, particularly something that's a bit more of a skill sport than a power sport, that you're letting them find their way, make a few mistakes, learn from it. And it's the reaction and the intelligence you're looking for.
Sam, he's kept the same rhythm just throughout the whole round. We saw it at Cheltenham last week, the winners, and they keep the same rhythm, lovely, lovely, easy, same rhythm all the way through. Got to be great.
Yeah, it's not always about being fast. It's about not being slow, just keeping it ticking away the whole time.
He's doing a super job here, Michael. And he's right up there in the reckoning, as always.
Yeah, that horse will produce quick times going forward because very quick and efficient through the fences as well.
Next in, 83, another Tullibard's horse here. Tullibard's Nobody Knows. Hans Cunley again, ridden by Amanda Goldsberry, and again by his horse, Tullibard's Benny's Legacy, this very smart Nations Cup show jumper on the top line. On the bottom line, Tullibard's Hot Shot by Cruising's Mickey Finn, himself a metre 60 show jumper, Cruising's Mickey Finn, out of a Grandeur mare, out of a Julio Mariner mare. He won a St. Ledger for Clive Britton, Julio Mariner, by Blakeney. Jan Grev stands Julio Mariner, doesn't he? This horse comes in on a 30 score, 30 plus clear.
And again, Amanda just coming in, different type of horse to what we saw on the first time. She's not interfering, she's just letting this horse tick along, and whatever's going to come up for a fence is going to come up, and that's a nice way to let them learn their job. That was super off there. And he's brave, he's always looking for the next fence and not losing any time going from A to B.
They're a real power couple, aren't they? Michael McNally and here Amanda Goldsberry.
Yeah, they're working hard. I saw them the day before at an event, and here they are with another lorry load, and that's important. These people, this is a profession. Producing these horses is a livelihood, and to be able to keep going and have these opportunities to keep the horses learning their job is important. Keep the trade going. It's important for this country.
Well, the results, they did an outstanding season last year with their horses, and you can see why. Beautifully produced.
That last jump there, Chris, is everything you want to see. There again, look at those front legs coming up. It's probably gotten better as the round's gone on. I'd say to begin with, nearly a little bit too brave and just wanting to get on with it too much. But then you start to see taking his time a little bit more and really getting those knees up and just well able to use everything. Everything is working there. Front legs, back legs, the body, the back. It's all working the way you want it to work.
The great slow motion shots here. That's beautiful through the air and fast away. Yeah, he's got some lovely horses, Hans Cunley, that's for sure. And I look forward to this one's progress. He's well enough up there, not quite there, just on the 30 mark, and we'll see how that works out. We welcome in next, number 85, Ballycreen King's Mistress. Traditional Irish bred mare, this bay mare by King's Master. King's Master, great cross of Master and King of Diamonds himself. Bred by David Cosby in Wicklow. Owned by Siobhan English, excellent. Siobhan, of course, was editor of the Irish Field. Written by Christine O'Donnell. Great rider. The dam line, Ballycreen Anushka by the thoroughbred Orbis. Out of a mare by the thoroughbred Nelia Knows. Out of a mare by the thoroughbred Mythical Sprite. Own brother to Ballycreen Malord, a lovely 4-star horse with Louise Codd. Sam, you're a huge fan of these traditional breds as well as myself, and we have a webinar for the Traditional Irish Horse Association tomorrow night. You're going to be on it at 8 o'clock. Go on to the tiha.ie website and go to the 2021 news for the webinar. Sam Watson going to be speaking at that webinar tomorrow night. If you go to tiha.ie, go to news and you find it. What are you looking at here, Sam? What do you reckon?
Yeah, we're looking at a mare who enjoys the job anyway, and she's taking her rider to the next fence with no problems there. She's got that real stamp as well of the King's Masters. I think Aidan Keogh had a very good one, and you can sort of see the similarities. But those ears prick right forward, enjoying the job, looking for the next fence, look careful, looking at what she's doing.
Master Treadstep brought Aidan round Rolex, didn't he?
Yeah.
He was King's Master.
And they'll only do enough, that's the thing. You look at these horses, and I think that's, like you said earlier, these horses dominated the stud book in Benting for years and years, and the steeplechase went out of it. I think people took a little bit of a punt and on bringing in different blood, but I stuck with what was dominating the rankings. I'd be, fairly methodical like that. If it isn't broke, don't fix it. And it was great at that after that WEG year, Chris, getting into the top 10 in the world. That I think that's been my best achievement. I was the first Irish rider to do it. Cahill's followed suit, but the 3 horses that got me there were all traditional Irish horses. I've won a
That is
good few
amazing.
4-stars, and they're all bred that way, and they enjoy the job. They enjoy the job.
This fella's 85% thoroughbred on his page, and again, there's a lot of thoroughbred blood in this individual. A lovely, lovely mare. Well done, Siobhan English and Christine O'Donnell. Plenty of jump there as well.
Yeah, you see it coming out on the bigger fence there. On the smaller ones, she stayed quite low with the shoulders, just picking up the front legs. She's looking at what she was doing. That's what I say about them only doing enough. And a lot of people, I think you can be critical, saying it doesn't look like there's scope there. There's not scope until there needs to be scope. They're judging what they're doing, being economical. And I know people like to see the flashy one spend a little bit of extra time in the air, but that mare was doing what she needed to do, and she had scope when she needed to have scope.
Excellent. Next in, welcoming in, 87, EPA Endeavour, bred by Jim O'Connell up in County Offaly, owned by Elizabeth Ahern and ridden by Felicity Ward. This brown gelding 5-year-old by Orestes, who's a son of Indoctor, who's a son of that great Capital line. Side of Regal Bounty that Flick has brought up to 4-star. Orestes Gold, good 3-star horse with the Davidsons in the USA. Mr. Firefly as well, 3-star with Sarah Ennis. The Dam Line, traditional Irish, Leafy Hollow by the great thoroughbred Doc Leaf. Out of an Ireland's Pride, out of a Hero. Coming in on their score at 32. Interesting here, Elizabeth Ahern and Felicity Ward, they had a smashing horse. The first lot in the Go for Gold last year, down here in Barnadown, the Goresbridge Go for Gold, and sold very, very well. EPA Wildfire went to America and won his first start in America for their new owners. Isn't it great? Great producer here, Felicity Ward, number 87.
Yeah, big powerful horse here, Chris. If you put trackers and things on these horses like the rugby players have, looking at the stride length and the ground that this horse is covering with every stride, he's really eating it up. He's going to love a course like Mill Street, where you just get to really use that stride and bowl along.
I did a bit of running as a kid. We had a very good coach. He was an Olympic coach in his time, but he said, lengthen your stride for no extra effort. A longer stride, you're putting 6 inches on every stride, and the distance you get for free. And I love a horse that with a ground cover.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the attribute of flamenco, and you're always. I enjoy it now. You're looking at the different courses that suit the different horses and things like that. You'll have some very twisty, hilly courses where sometimes the nimble horses are going to come into their own, where they're able to be quick and nippy. But it's a great feeling when you can just travel around a course and you can sit there and you can just feel that power. It's like driving a good car, or a car with a big engine on the open roads. It's a good feeling when you got that power underneath you. Beautiful turn out of there. Again, the horse looking at what he's doing, using himself in the right way. And Felicity doesn't have to do much to open up the stride.
She knows. Felicity's a top producer. She knows this horse has got gallop. Let him off for a real spin to make sure we saw it as well. I think, Sam. I love it. Smashing horse, smashing rider. Well done, Felicity Ward. Well done, EPA Endeavour. You're on a 32. You're in the reckoning, but a little bit further down the line that you actually were a winner last time up here in the Horseboat Island class down in Wexford last week. But the others have caught up with you just a fraction there this time round. But still a very good performance, a smashing horse. Yeah,
lovely slow-mo through the water there, Chris, as well. Lovely over the last fence, but I love watching the horses go through the water. I see sometimes people lunging a horse in water, just that extra activity. They're just using themselves that bit more. It's great. You really get to see the athleticism.
Smashing. This is Dennistown Prince of Pride, bred by Andrew Waldron in Wicklow, owned and ridden by Katie Stafford. He's a pure Irish draft, this fella. As you can see, pure Irish draft. He's Crosstown Pride by the great Crosstown Dancer. Crosstown Dancer, the sire of the sire, the grandsire of this fella. Fintan Flanagan, he won 5 RDS titles, Irish draft champion he was. Yeah, fantastic. Crosstown Dancer bred Glenkieran River. And Joe Myers, great horse, Clip Clop by the grandsire, Crosstown Dancer. And out of Draft mare again, Bunny last Sunday, drawn by Golden Trump out of a Golden Warrior, out of a Grey Macca, coming in today on a score of 32.3.
Very good. You know, that plenty of pace there for a bank. You know that you'd be, yeah, you normally take a little bit of gas off coming to a bank, but the horse did it for, you know, she was plenty of travel, and he just did a quick little fiddle before he came off the bank. Again, it's what the Irish horses are good at. I mean, he clearly enjoys his job. He's getting on with things, but there again, you know, he steadied himself going into the fence and does a lot of the thinking for you, which is nice.
Yeah. A great pure draft. There was a pure draft went round Kililky 1-star when it was a 1-star, the equivalent of today's 2-star. And you know what? He was the fastest round of that day. And I'm thinking that had to be checked. And I did check it, and it was absolutely spot on. And you know, there is so much blood in a lot of the draft blood that we have here in the draft lines. And if you look at cruising, right now by Seacrest and the great Lenamore by Seacrest, Lenamore was only a half-bred. But Seacrest and Cruising has a thoroughbred quotient of 50% on the page. But there was a DNA sample taken off from Sam and by Etalon Diagnostics in California. And his real thoroughbred percentage is 65.8. Not 50, 65.8. I love it. And it explains to me when I see cross country. Yeah.
Well, Lenamore winning Burley, I mean, Burley is the ultimate test in our game of a horse as to whether he can gallop and stay. And, you know, the Irish horses will stay. And like we said at the top of this class, sometimes it's not about necessarily being fast, it's about not being slow. And this horse never wasted a second. And you can waste time in a number of ways. You can waste time through, you know, over assessing the fence and backing off it a little bit too much. You can waste time by not being nimble enough through your turns. And also when you land that first stride, because you've lost a bit of momentum just through getting in the air. And the you know, the horses that want to get on with it and be quick, they land and you just feel that little acceleration. You know, their hind legs are saying, let's go every time they land. And they might have to do that 40 times on a course with all the combination fences and things like that. And every time they land, they're saying, let's go. And he was doing it.
Oh, they're lovely. We've got some really interesting sorts here. Every kind of a horse. And a vendor comes in all shapes and packages. We know that, don't we? Blenaville Rua, this is. Bred by Tim Hurley in County Kerry. Owned by Jane Hancock. Ridden by Lucy Hancock. 5-year-old pony gelding by Paula Cullen's pony sire, Paula Easy Peasy, Irish pony stallion. Out of a mare, Blennerville Scarlet by Captain Canute. Out of an All the Diamonds. Out of a Droves and a Lad. Out of a Hinch. They come in on their score 31.5.
This is a quality looking pony now, isn't it? This looks an international type for sure. Little horse. I'm glad my wife isn't looking because she'd be at me to get the checkbook out. Sparks loves a little
fabulous,
a little machine
Paula
like
Cullen,
this.
Paul Ank is Paul and Frank Cullen, obviously the same Paul and Frank Cullen that bred the great Paul Ank Broca, badminton winner. They bred this
the front legs
pony stallion.
Front legs over the house going into the water. The tuck couldn't have been better. Couldn't have been neater. Great technique.
.5. The dressage score. Clear show jumping. All important clear show jumping. For championship level as well, Sam, it's a given, isn't it? Show jumping so important, and it's become even more so important.
Yeah, it is, and you know, a lot of people leave the rails up. You know, you're looking at about nearly at least 2/3 of the field, particularly at the lower levels, will have, you know, a clear or 4 faults. So you don't, you know, that people don't really add too many penalties in that phase. Now, if you can get ahead in the dressage, if you can do a 23 in the dressage and, you know, you afford a rail down, you're still on the 27. You know, penalties are penalties, whatever phase they come in. But you don't want to be adding them on the last day, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, this pony, lovely and clean, as you say, in front.
Little trot step. Look at what he's doing. Jump out over the shadows just to make sure.
I love when they come back on their hocks coming off a bank, that they put that hind leg right underneath them and use it.
Yeah, you don't want to land in a heap after a fence. Course designers are for sure going to have something there up the levels.
Hunting here, we got ditches and wire beyond them and whatever, and you want to be jumping well out from your banks, that's for sure. We welcome in number 97. Yeah, 97 is Stonebrook Chit Chat, bred by John Martin Smith up in Kildare, owned by Carol Martin Smith and written by great Heidi Hamilton producing here. 5-year-old grey filly, bislag of studs. Thoroughbred Pointillist, great Pointillist here. Yes, by the Iron Horse Giants Causeway, of course, Pointillist. Sire of Master Point, Ballycobble Whisper, Brookfield's Pointless Boy. The dam side of this filly, yet Tapestry by Blue Jay Diamond, Casey Blue Jay Diamond, out of a Red Horse Condor. Pot Arab bred actually on the dam side. Coming in on their score, 32.5. They had a 28.5 dressage and they put one rail on the ground. 32.5 their score.
It's really interesting when one of the things that you don't get any certainties from breeding, Chris, but when you look at the Jamaican sprinters, that kind of Caribbean athletes, they're so strong and powerful, and that's why they're sprinters. And that's what you get with a lot of the European horses. You get that strength in the back end, so they're spending time in the air in the canter, and when they're jumping, they're really getting in the air and they're taking their time over their fence because they're able to sit on their back legs. The thoroughbred horses, and this horse by Pointless, they're more like long distance runners, and it takes time before they get really strong and powerful in their hind ends. That's why they talk about those thoroughbred horses taking time. They take time to get strong. They don't take time to gallop, but they take time to get really strong. So you'll just see sometimes when he's in a little bit close, he's not going to go spend lots of time in the air. He's going to get through. He did over that fence, and he'll learn to use and engage his back end all along. But those are some of the differences that you allow for, and certainly I'm accounting for when I'm looking at a young horse. I know that some are more likely to improve in different areas than others.
Yeah, and in great hands here with Heidi. Heidi's produced some top horses, hasn't she? Cavalli and Kambala. Some smashers. Her top horse, Damn Easy, looking good as well last year.
Yeah, exactly. It's a great little education for them, this, Chris. They're all, most of the horses, you see them getting better throughout the rounds, understanding the job. It's a great little school for them. Well able to get the front legs up and out of the air. That's a nice horse with quite a lot of potential there.
I think he's going to be a top. Sorry, he had a side Master Point, who was my top-rated novice horse of last year, and won the international down in Ballindennis last autumn. And I think Pointless is going to throw some right ones. We welcome in now number 100, Shannondale Dillon. It is bred by Martin Walsh from Shannondale Stud. Martin and Mary, they're great breeders there in County Clare. Yes, they stand the sire, of course, Shannondale Sarko, ridden here by Lewis Codd. By Shannondale Sarko. Sarko, of course, the sire of Coolpack Sarko, Shannondale Mary, Shannondale Icarus, Cables Harrow, Drift, Teddy Sharpo, etc. The dam side, pure thoroughbred dam by Millinery, out of a Beneficial, out of a Lord America. Now, Beneficial would be one of our top national hunt sires, and that would be the dam sire, and very smart sort. Coming in on a 28.5, their dressage score.
Yeah, again, like now that the strength in the hind leg is there, and this horse effortlessly changing legs from one side to the other. And you see some horses that they're just when they're weaker behind, that's just a harder thing. For this horse, it's effortless.
I think most of these continental sires, to me, they kind of want a thoroughbred. They need it for our game. They need a thoroughbred underneath them, perhaps, Sam.
Yeah, look, the German team have shown us, Mickey and Ingrid, they do it the right way. They start with a very blood cross-country type horse, and they train the rest. And I think Mickey Young tried with a couple. He had a couple of European winners in there, kind of in the middle of the decade with Halunka and Fisher Takanu, but they didn't have the longevity that the really blood types like Rakana and Sam had, who just did so many 4-stars, won so many 4-stars. So you need everything. You need it to be easy for them. You know, if we want these horses doing those 10 4-stars or championships like we were talking about with old Bushman, it just needs to feel easy to them, and not be or certainly within themselves.
And William Micklem, we had him on last week from Wexford, and great. He said, they got to travel easy. For them to be easy on their body, they've got to be able to travel easy, not be ever under pressure, no matter what level they're at. And it makes so much sense. And for that, you need blood. And I think the thoroughbred also brings that forward thinking, doesn't it? And if you're thinking forward, you're going forward. Sarko out of a thoroughbred mare.
That was a nice ride for Louise there.
Yes,
I'd say she enjoyed that one. You're always going to feel like you've got that power underneath you.
Yeah, see him going up the grades. And he's nicely placed here. 28.5 puts him right up there. Top 5 coming in. We're coming, unfortunately, to the last of our numbers here. 102 coming in. MBF back to black. Bred by Liam Duffin in County Wexford. Owned and ridden by Maeve Bolger. 5-year-old big gelding by Metropole, top show Dublin Sire Cross, Libero H, and then going back to the great Lady Killer. And Metropole out of Voltaire, who goes back to the one of the other greats, Furioso. And the damn line here, Ohamor Iroko's Dream by Iroko out of an X-Teen, out of a Cavalier Royale. And right at the 25.3 leading score coming in here, 102.
Yeah, again, athletic looking type here. He's active behind, getting that air time in the canter. Pretty extravagant as well. Looking what he's doing. You saw him breaking into trot for a few strides and showing that he's got a bit of movement there as well. And good over that. Again, that's where these riders are very good at being effective. As those horses are thinking about going left or right, they're very quick. They're feeling it before we're seeing it. That's for sure. And they're able to kind of step in and get the line back on track.
The great producers, yes, MBF is Maeve and Brian Flynn, and top vendors, of course, at the Go for Gold sale as well. Always have a nice quality horse.
I'd be disappointed if these horses weren't looking at what they're doing at this age and this stage of their life. You want to see everything. The eyes and the ears absolutely locked on, having a look, because they'll need that. They've got to be careful. They've got to figure out what they're doing.
Nice uphill canter as well. A lovely, comfortable ride, I'd say.
And he gets his front legs out of the way nice and quickly as well.
Isn't it lovely looking at these young horses through these classes, isn't it? I love it. We'd spend a lot of our time looking at young horses, I suppose, Sam. But it's wondering what they can be, what they are now, isn't it just? Oh, lovely. But they give us so much, don't they? And the event horse, for me, he is the real athlete. It's a joy to be involved with them. Wow.
It's a great combination. They've got to be an athlete. They've got to have something genetically there from nature, but then they learn so much. That there is so much to train and develop in this sport. You don't want to be doing 1 5-star. You want to be doing about 5 of them, because you get to those championships, win.
Fantastic. Is this a winning score? I think it is, you know. I think it is. You see now as the leaderboard comes up. Yes, it is. Indeed, it is. Mae Bolger on the MBF back to black on that 25.3. Just one mark behind Wansbeck Ansley, smashing there. Louise Codd there, 26.3. And in third, that lovely mare. I think she was first in when she was so light on her feet. Tullibard's Avita, Amanda Goldsbury on a 27.8. I don't know, are you still there, Sam? We'd like to say thanks to Horseport Ireland, Eventing Ireland and TRM for the coverage of these classes. We hope you've enjoyed them. Thanks to Sarah, to Claire, to Sam, and we wish you all jockeys a great season. You've shaped it really good at the first event over the weekend. I look forward to progress in this Olympic year. If you missed last week's coverage from Wexford, you can catch it up on the Horseport Ireland YouTube channel. And all rounds can be from Barnadown can be viewed on the clipmyhorse.tv. So thanks to you for joining us, and we look for your company there on another occasion. Well done, Horseport Ireland, and we bring this autumn's development series to a close. God bless all.